What's going on? What questions do you guys have for us today?
So Shannon, what were what's kind of been the focus and the key areas that you guys have been working on this week preparing for Georgia?
Yeah, good. I think a lot of what we've been doing, I think a lot of times I feel like in a season you have to get that first home meet and that first road meet kind of under your belt a little bit. And then, it's just data back and it's information, and then we use it to make some adjustments. And so, from the onset of the preseason and even the summer prior, the big focus was a lot of landings and just details. And so, we spent this week, at least Monday and Tuesday, really kind of hammering home those points and just really being intentional about landings. And again, just some form, a little bit of form, kind of pointed feet and straight legs, and all those things that will really be difference makers for us. So that's kind of been the focus so far.
What was kind of your message to your team after Alabama and heading into this week?
Yeah, I think sometimes in the moment, in the heat of the battle, it sometimes can appear or feel worse than it is. And then I always try to give myself about 24 hours to watch the video, go back and then just kind of evaluate. I actually thought we did a pretty good job. I know our scores weren't indicative of that kind of overall and a little bit on bars. I thought we did a fairly good job on bars. Sometimes, again, we're in a subjective sport. So, you can't always control everything, but on there. So I thought we actually did a really good job. I thought bars was good. I thought floor and vault were really pretty solid for us. Beam wasn't our strongest. We were obviously a little bit wobbly and just not as solid as we've normally been. But I think there was some value in what we did. I saw a lot of toughness and not just jumping off the beam. I think that's sometimes easy to do for kids if it's not perfect, to just give up on it. And I was really actually proud of them for doing that because I think that will pay off down the road.
Has it been difficult to adjust the new stick rule? You have to hold it for a certain amount of seconds before it's officially a stick. Has that been an adjustment for you guys?
What do you think, Jassy?
I personally think it's a good rule that they've implemented into the sport of gymnastics. I think it allows the gymnasts to actually settle in their landings and find control before saluting. And a lot of the time, like even with the first two meets, like it's always in the back of my mind about holding the holding for the 2 seconds. And it just allows me to focus on actually like finding the landing first. And it's gotten me on the first two meets that we've been at. So just trying to actually dial in the landings and just be patient with finishing.
Yeah, I think over kind of to elaborate, definitely that's been one of the biggest changes this year, or points of emphasis, probably for us and many teams out there, right in there. And I think, not too much. Sometimes we find ourselves getting a little bit ahead of the finish, but overall, we really haven't had too many deductions personally. There's been maybe 3 or 4 between the first two meets here, but I think those numbers will certainly improve as we kind of move through the season and settle in.
Jocelyn, you've been near perfect on floor both times so far this season. Can you kind of feel that 10 is coming later on?
Um, Hopefully, but just focusing on what I do in the gym. And I know that if I keep doing what I'm doing, eventually the score will show. And I'm just happy that I'm at this stage early in the season and that I can be as close to perfect as possible, but also not just focusing on being perfect, focusing on the details that go into what I'm doing and just staying present in the moment during each skill.
Jocelyn, just piggybacking on that question a little bit, just how would you evaluate the way that you've performed so far? What areas do you like the way you've performed and where are you kind of looking to improve?
I feel like being a junior at this point, I kind of know how things go now. So just being able to have fun and just take in every moment, because eventually it's going to be over and I'm going to look back and wish I had fun while I was doing these things. So, I mean, even if I'm not perfect, even if I do mess up or have like small deductions in the routine, just still staying present, like I was saying, and just being able to follow through with what I'm doing. And if there is a deduction, not give up too many, just keep going with the flow and just do what I know how to do.
I think we can find 3 or 4 more years of eligibility.
I would hope
Yeah.
so. No, that's okay.
What else? Karen, did you have a question?
Kyle actually asked what I was going to ask. I
Okay.
was going to ask about Jocelyn's floor routines. I noticed you have a bit more pep in your step and your routines this year. So I was kind of wondering what kind of things changed between last year and this year with those routines.
Well, I would definitely say Jackie Turpak, she plays a huge role in our routines. And the thing is, I feel like last year we were focusing a lot on the elements of the routine rather than the dance. And although the elements is what gets scored, the dance is also very important too. So Jackie, she finds like little pieces in the floor routine where she's like, look here or do this here, just to engage the crowd, because that's also a big factor. And you don't want the judge to be bored while you're doing gymnastics. You want them to be engaged in your routine too. So I think it's also really important to not only focus on the elements, but to also focus on the choreography and the dance.
Yeah,
Kind of a
we
question.
always talk about it. We're kind of in an entertainment industry, it's a sport, don't get me wrong, but we're out there to entertain our fans, and it's kind of a mix of athletic event and kind of Broadway show. It's kind of that combination right there. So I think we, just try to embrace that and have fun with it. And, when there's no defense out there, really, we can just focus on our process and just having fun and really putting on a good show for our fans.
Kind of a question for both of you guys. Just what do you think is going to be the key for you guys in Athens on Friday or on Saturday?
I'll get us started here. Yeah, I think just, I've been pleased with our preparation. There's a quick turnaround time. We typically have about 3 practices roughly between competitions. And that's what we have this week. So today's kind of an off day, and then we train tomorrow, and then we're on the road. So I've actually been really pleased with our preparation this week already. I think we've put in some good work, and the effort's been at a high level, and I think people are hungry to get out there and show like, hey, we can do better than what we did last weekend. Not that it was terrible, but I think we have we're better than that. And so yeah, I think just focusing on pulling some confidence from our preparation and from our training. And I think taking care of landings. We need to do a little better job. The first competition out, we were at 50% on our sticks, and we usually measure vault, bars, beam, because floor we don't have sticks. And we were 50% on meet competition 1 at home. Last weekend we were not quite as good. We were about 33%. So we want to get back to doing a little better job there at the end of the day, because I think we're definitely capable of hitting routines. Now we just gotta, but you got to take care of landings. A lot of times if you don't stick and they go 9-8 plus, well, that's at least half your deduction right there, because it's worth a 10th. So, we just usually focus on where's the biggest deduction coming from. Let's hit on that right there. And for most of those routines are pretty good as long as we take care of the landings.
During week 1, we saw you expedition 4th 10.0 vault. Do you have an idea of when you want to get that in the lineup? And then as a general question, do you plan on making lineup changes this weekend?
Yeah, well, I think we're getting close. Yeah, I think we were just, we always want to put people in positions to be highly successful. And I think we're almost there on vault, along with some other events on maybe debuting a few other routines, but definitely on vault. And that 4th one is JJ, and she's getting real close. She warmed up last weekend. This is really like her freshman year, even though she's a sophomore, because she was out last year with a little back thing. So we're getting there. We just want to put her in at the right time. And I feel like she's getting better and better. So I would anticipate sometime I don't know if it's going to be this weekend, but I would think over sometime in the next couple of weeks, we'll see her in the lineup. So I'm hoping to actually at least very minimally exhibition her this weekend at Georgia over there. And then in regards to new people, yeah, last weekend, floor was pretty well. We switched Kennedy and Raina out, so they're on there. But I think we'll probably have a combination of pretty similar there. I might put Raina in this weekend and take Kennedy out. They both are doing a good job, but you want to keep giving them opportunities. I think we may see a change on beam. We might change up the lineup. We'll know a little bit more tomorrow, quite honestly. I think vault will probably stay the same. And we may have a change on bars. I think again tomorrow we're going to use a little bit of a dictator for a little more on that end, but there's definitely room for change. And if we want to try out those opportunities, this month of January is a great time to do that, because we want to kind of get settled in, hopefully a little bit more as we kind of hit the back end of February.
I have a question. What brought about putting Amari on beam instead of bars now?
Yeah, these are all questions for me. I
Oh,
give you
okay.
two. Yeah. Well, she was having a little bit of well, I'd say two things. One, we've had some pretty good depth on beam the last number of years. And so some of she's always trained balance beam for us. She just had a hard time getting into that lineup. Part of it, she just needed some development. The other part of it was we were pretty stacked over there, with some pretty, over on that end. So with the departure of probably 3 people that were in our beam lineup last year, that opened up some opportunities over there. The second thing is that she had her shoulder started to bug her a little bit, and it was bugging her a little bit last year. And it's nothing major, but it could have been had we continued to go down that road. And bars is typically the hardest event on upper bodies and shoulders. And so we just made a decision like, okay, hey, you know what? We're a little bit deeper on bars. We have some depth issues, not, we just had some opportunities on balance beam. So we slid her over and just said, okay, let's try this route, because we didn't want to lose her on, some of her really strong events on vault and floor. And then we felt like that was a good opportunity. So that was kind of how we made that decision right there. And it's been great, and she's obviously very versatile and talented enough where, she could slide over and in junior year make a lineup and do really well with it. So
Jocelyn, a question for you. What has kind of been your favorite thing about this team so far this season?
That's a good question. I think definitely our fight, like Shannon was saying earlier, there's a lot of times where people could easily just give up and like in the middle of a routine, just throw it all away. But honestly, knowing that it's not over till it's over. And I think going up against SEC teams like this, like it's really going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. So just being able to finish the routine how you want to finish the routine, and knowing that you don't know what the other team is doing and we don't really know what's going on with the scores. So just being able to like focus on what we're doing and just finish the routine how we want.
You guys had Bama last week, Georgia this week, and then the following week LSU. Is there kind of a different mindset you guys have right now, having 3 consecutive SEC teams in a row?
no, I don't think so. Yeah, I think it's just going out and again, there's no defense, so you just go out and you continue to focus on process. And I know this is kind of coach talk, but it really is. We're just trying to go out and perform the best we can be. If that's good enough to win, which I think it typically can be, great. If we can hit, again, gymnastics is kind of an odd sport, in the fact that the wins are definitely great, for media and for promotions, and my AD likes them, but at the end of the day, the score is the thing that helps us with the ranking, right? That's the thing. So we just really want to go out and maximize our ability to score the highest we can. Now, we feel like if we do that, it's going to put us in a position to get some W's and get some wins and stuff like that. So
got time for about 1 or 2 more questions.
well, here I have questions. Jocelyn, who's your favorite professor in the J school?
Karen, of course.
Yes, yeah. Jocelyn's a big diehard. She's a diehard Bills fan, and obviously, we in Missouri here are diehard Chiefs fans. So we go back and forth all the time. We were just talking on this call.
I love that.
Yeah, but anyways, well, thank you guys. We appreciate you, and looking forward to talking to you guys all next week, hopefully, and talking about the great strides and improvements that we made after this upcoming competition.